Hello everyone, welcome to our next class. This is part 2 for unit 1. In our last class we have done 5 questions, which was part 1 for unit 1. Let's continue with the class. The next question, this is the question number 6. The difference between stack and queue. Stack is based on LIFO, that is last in first out principle, whereas queue is based on FIFO, that is first in first out principle. Insertion operation in stack is called as push operation, whereas in the queue when we insert, this operation is called as a NQ. Deletion operation is called as pop in stack, whereas deletion operation in queue we say DQ. Okay, push and pop operation take place from stack for dealing with data items, and for queue we use NQ and DQ operations. The most accessible elements are called top and the least accessible elements are called bottom of the stack. Whereas talking about queue, the insertion end is called as a rear end and the deletion end is called as a front end. Okay, it's like making a queue for ticket. You can observe there the insertion is always from the last, which is called as a rear end, whereas a deletion is from front end. Okay, now it is very simple for implementing stack, whereas queue has a complex implementation in comparison to stack. Here we required only one pointer for the stack is required, whereas we require 2 pointers when we deal with queue, that is front and rear pointers. Okay, now when you want to check empty condition for stack, you will be using one method, that is top is equal to -1. This is one condition which will return you whether the stack is empty or not. Whereas when you want to check for queue, you will be writing front is equal to -1, or this is or front is equal to rear, means there is no element. Okay, means the queue is empty. Now when you want to check full condition for the stack, you will be writing top equal to max -1. Okay, it will tell you whether the stack is full or not. Whereas for checking full condition in queue, you will be using rear equal to max -1. Max -1 is the condition for checking whether the queue is full or not. Now there are no variant available for stack, whereas there are 3 type of variant which is available, that is circular queue, double-ended queue and priority queue. This topics you will be learning in your next academic. Okay, now stack can be considered as a vertical collection visual. Okay, it can be considered as a vertical collection visual, whereas queue can be considered as a horizontal collection visual. It is used to solve a recursive problem. Stack can be used for solving recursive type of problem, whereas queue can be used for solving sequential problems. Okay, so this was the difference between the stack and queue. In this you are supposed to write minimum 8 points. Okay, now the next question is, what are arrays in data structure? Arrays in data structure are defined as collection of similar type of data item which is stored at contiguous memory location. It is one of the simplest data structure where each data item can be randomly accessed by using its index number. Arrays in simple term is a collection of data item which will have same name and same return type. Name will be same. For example, you are writing a variable or you are writing array. Okay, and the data type will be either, it can be anything, it can be integer or character or float. Okay, in C programming they are derived data type that can be stored the primitive type of data such as integer, character, double, float, etc. For example, if you want to store the marks of 6 marks of student in 6 subjects, then we don't need to define a different variable for the marks in different subject. Instead, we can define an array that can store the marks in each subject at contiguous memory location. Now, what are the properties of array? There are some of the properties of array that are listed follows. Each element in an array is of same data type and carries same size. Okay, for example, if you have taken integer array, then all the element will have the same data type, that is integer, and it will be of same size, that is of 2 byte. Elements in the array are stored at contiguous memory location. Contiguous means it will be sequential, okay, from which the first element is stored at the smallest memory location. The first element will be stored at first, which will be the smallest memory location. Elements of array can be randomly accessed, since we can calculate address of each element of array with the given base address and size of data element. Depending upon the address of first element, we can calculate the address of all other variable, and also we have given the size of the data element. Yes. Now, how you are going to represent array? Array can be represented in simple format. That is the first thing which we are writing is the type of array. In this example here, we have written int, then name of the array is array and the size is 10. Okay, and in this curly brackets you can give the elements or the data items which you want to list. Okay, and there will be 10 elements will be there, and the first index will start from array 0 and then it increases. Okay, there are some of the following important point. Index start from 0. The array's length is 10, which means we can store 10 elements, correct? Each element in the array can be accessed via its index. Then why we required to use arrays? Arrays are useful because sorting and searching a value in array is easier. Arrays are best to process multiple values quickly and easily. Okay, these 2 points are very important. That is the reason we are supposed to use arrays. Arrays are good for sorting multiple value in a single variable. In computer programming, most cases require storing a large number of data of a similar data type. To store such amount of data, we need to define a large number of variable. Okay, instead of declaring multiple variable, we can do what? We can create an array and we can store the data. Okay, now memory allocation of an array. All the data element of array are stored at contiguous location in main memory. Okay, the name of array represent the base address or the address of the first element in the main memory. Each element of array is represented by proper indexing. Okay, now it is very important. Arrays are or you can say array uses base address mechanism. Means what? The first variable will be stored at a location, and which will say that base address, and because of this due to this base address we can calculate any of the variable, okay, of that array. Okay, we can define indexing of array in the below way. 0 based indexing. Okay, the first element of array will be array of 0 index. 0 is the index in this case, and here the 1, that is 1 based indexing. Similarly, we can give the n based indexing also. Okay, for example, array 0, this is 100. 100 is the base address, which means on this location we have stored array of 0, which will have some data. Then next array of 1, we are saying it is stored at 104. Okay, then next element array of 2, we are saying it is stored at 108 location. Like that we have stored array 0 to array of 4. Okay, now what are the basic operations which we have which we can perform? The first operation is traversal. Traversal means visiting all the element of array. Then we have insertion. We can add element in between, or you can say at particular index. Then deletion, it is used to delete an item from a particular index. We can search, we can update. Okay, in this question we'll be learning one operation. Question was, what is array, and explain any one of the operations. Okay, so in this question you are supposed to write this one simple program, that is traversal. Traversal again, it means simply visiting the elements, correct? This operation is used to transfers through the array element. It prints all the array element, that is one after another. We can understand with this following example. Here in this case we have written this code in C programming. You can see here int a of 5. Now this int is a type of the array, arr is a array name, the 5 is the size, and these are the elements which we have mentioned here. Okay, this is iterating variable I, or you can say a variable I, which we are going to use for loop purpose. And this is one simple message which we are printing. Okay, then inside the loop we are writing for I equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and we are simply printing the array. Okay, now what is %d here? %d is what? Is a specification for printing the integer, correct? In C programming we have to give the specification. So array %d, so it will print the index and then the value, array of I. Okay, so you can see here array 0 we have 18, then array 1 we have 30, then array 2 we have 15, then array 3 we have 17, array 4 we have 12. Okay, so like that it is going to print the values. Now next question is very interesting. Explain insertion operation in an array. This operation is used to perform to insert one or more element into array. As per the requirement, an element can be added at the beginning, end, or at any index of the array. Now let us see the implementation. This is again one of the C programming question, C programming code. Now here int arr 20. Now this is the type of the array, this is the name, yes, and the size is 20. Now these are the elements which we have written here. Now I is for loop, x element, x is a variable whose value we are going to insert. Okay, then pos is a position, then n is a one variable whose value is 5 we have declared. Okay, now array elements before insertion, we are simply printing array elements before insertion. Okay, then after that we are mentioning here x is equal to 50, which we want to insert. Then we are saying position is equal to 4, means what? At 4th position we are going to insert the value 50. Okay, and then we are incrementing n. Now here the value of n becomes what? 6. Okay, now next you can see here the value of I will be what? I will be equal to n minus 1, which means 5. Yes, then we are checking I, that is 5 is greater than equal to position is 4. Yes, the condition is true, correct? And then we are decrementing. Now next line, in the next line what we are doing here, array of I means arr of 5 will be what? Arr of 4. I minus 1 means 4, correct? Means we are shifting this value into array of 5. Okay, so means what? This is array 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this 4 will be shifted to array of 5. Okay, and then what we are doing here, we are simply inserting arr, position minus 1, position was 4, so array of 3 will be what? X is how much? 50. So this location, at this location we are going to insert the value 50. You can see the output here. Array elements before insertion, we have simply printed the array elements which we have written in the beginning. Then later we have added array the value 50 at location 3. Okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, and this is 3. So 50 is inserted here, and rest all the elements will be shifted to our right hand side. Okay, and this loop will be going to executed for twice. Okay, since here we have decrementing the value and plus we have written equal to symbol. Okay, that is how 70 and 12 will be shifted to RHS. Okay, so this is simple insertion program. Only in this code you will be you have to remember this 3 line. Rest is similar. You are simply printing this array before insertion, then after insertion. Okay, Now this is very important key point for complicity. Array, when you want to access, okay, you can access very easily using the index number. That is the reason the complicity for this is order of 1, which is constant. Why constant? Because you can use index number and you can access directly. Rest in all cases you will be you have to transfer all the element, that is for searching, insertion, deletion. That is the reason the complicity is order of n. Okay, so this is very simple. Whereas space complicity will be order of n, that is the number of elements which you are declaring in the array. Okay, now last question for today is, what is the time and space complicity of the following code? Here the first question is order of A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0 for I in range n, and then we are incrementing A with some random variable value and then B with some random value. Okay, now you can see here this is one independent for loop and this is another independent for loop. Okay, now here this loop will go work for n time, this loop is going to work for n time, and whereas this loop, the second loop, will be working for m time. So complicity will be what? Our complicity will be order of n plus m. Okay, what about the space complicity? Since m and n are leading term, the time complicity will be m plus n, and since the variable size does not depend upon the size of input, space complicity will be also order of 1. Okay, there is no variable size is not mentioned here and it is not dependent upon the variable size. That is the reason the space complicity will be order of 1. Okay, now see the next question. Here we have taken A equal to 0 for I in range n and for j in range n. Now this loop will be for n time it is going to execute, whereas this loop will be executing for n time. So complicity will be order of n into n. Yes, this is very simple, this one. Now see the third question. For k equal to 0 and for I in range n divide by 2, this is divide by 2, this is a Python code, and then we are saying for j in range 2 comma n comma power 2 comma j. Now this, because of this the complicity will be log n, and this is our simple for loop, so complicity will be n. Okay, whenever you have here power or you have multiplication or when you have divide, remember the complicity will be reduced and it will be log n. Okay, and that is the reason answer for this question will be what? N log n. This is the answer. Okay, now see the fourth question. Algorithm A and B have a worst case running time complicity of order of n and order of log n respectively. Therefore, the algorithm B always run faster than algorithm of A. Now, the answer is here is false. It would be true if here they have mentioned best case. Okay, always remember the best case will be always order of log n. But when we are talking about worst case will be order of n. Okay, so this is the reason the answer for this question will be false. Okay, algorithm B will be running cannot run faster than algorithm A in worst case. Okay, if they have mentioned here best case, then this would have been true. Okay, now this is one homework question. You are supposed to do the comment on this question. What is the answer for this? Okay, int k equal to 1. Here while we are saying k is less than equal to n and we are simply printing the value of k, and then again we are doing k equal to k into 2. We are incrementing the value of k. Now you are supposed to comment for this homework question. What is the answer you are getting for this? What is the complicity? Okay, we'll stop here everyone. We'll continue in our next class. Thank you so much.